Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Who are these?
Well, we are
Who
back.
those people?
Yeah, good question. We're back. Pro Wrestling Talk is back after last week's, error on my part, but whatever. I'm Andrew Rivera alongside Witchy Perfect, and we're going to be reviewing last night's pay-per-view.
Yeah, there were some things I liked
forgot.
and some things I didn't like. And I did not watch All Out or All In or whatever the fuck it is. I did not watch it because I don't watch garbage wrestling much. Right?
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to review what was that called? Wrestlepalooza. I keep forgetting the name because it's
That's
so
okay.
bad.
Just wrestle
so bad.
something. It's
Yeah,
either WrestleMania, SummerSlam. The Survivor Series isn't the Survivor Series anymore. It's more of the war games that they had back in WCW without the WCW part.
Mm-hmm. So it's Vince. It's not Vince. It's WWE's version of War Games, basically.
Yeah.
Or Triple H's version, because he did War Games when he ran NXT 10 years ago. So that's where he started doing it. And now he brought it up to Raw and SmackDown, and it's just not good. It's just it's a spot fest. Everybody brings in weapons and tables and stuff, and
Yep.
there's no roof on the cage, so the guys can climb up top and do their flippy spots,
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things, I know it's not Hell in a Cell or anything. It's more sophisticated, but back in WCW, it did have a lid on top of the cage, So I'm just trying to, I'm like, wow, they really took War Games and really just shot it down the toilet.
Yeah, they kind of butchered it. So let's see here. Let's just start because we only have an hour here. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the open. The pre-show was another 2-hour pre-show. I didn't watch it. So there's a pre-show, then main show started. It was a cold open. The video package open. It was quite good. Explaining the history of ESPN and WWE, and then after that, we got Triple H, of course, saying sports is entertainment, always has been and always will be, and kind of walked away. And they showed Wrestlepalooza, and then a million, literally,
and that's where literally I was kind of like, well, I mean, if you look at football and how it's It is today. It's all scripted. So just like
Mm,
WWE, sports is all scripted. Good for you sports fans out there, I guess.
boom. So then we get a national anthem, whatever. Fire. We get Triple H in the ring, of course, starting off the show. I don't remember. He said it. He did his Are you ready?" stick. Bunch of fireworks went off, like 3 or
Yeah, I was in the
4
shower
sets
at
of
this time. I
pyro.
didn't really give a fuck. I
There
was in
were
the shower.
he did the "Are you ready?" stick that he does before every major pay-per-view, and
Yeah.
then we had 3 or 4, sets of pyro, literally. I mean, it was like every other word he said it was a pyro. It was pyro, whatever. Um, the opening match had, Brock Lesnar defeating John Cena in 8 minutes and 50 seconds.
It was
Brock
horrible.
took 99% of this match. Cena did nothing. And he got a little bit of offense in the middle where he hit like 3 AA, three of his finishes in a row, and Brock kicked out at 2. No problem. He popped back up and beat up Cena some more, and then eventually he hit his F5 like 3 times in a row and just pinned Cena 1, 2, 3. Like, whoa.
Honestly, I did not like this match. I was telling you on DMs. I mean, it made Cena look like a fucking little pussy bitch. Just like, they made Punk, he wasn't gonna hit Becky Lynch because, they were trying to bring AJ Lee back. Okay, I get it from that standpoint, but this was just terrible. This was horrible wrestling, if you call it that. This was just literally a alleged sex pest coming in, dominating John Cena on his last few days that he's gonna be in the company. I hated it. I think it stunk. I'd give it negative 5 stars because I mean, and you saw Cena did that at the end. That was like the only reason I would give it maybe a half a star is because Cena did this at the end. And towards the ring, not towards the fans. It was just like, fuck that match. I can't believe they would make Cena do that. Literally you had kids in the crowd crying because their hero was literally dominated by an alleged sex pest.
Well, no, that part was like, wow, that's like old school wrestling heat, like to the point where you had kids crying. Is like, oof. So yeah, Cena got destroyed. I'm guessing they're going to give Brock Lesnar that that unstoppable monster push until eventually a younger guy beats him. My guess either Braun Breaker or Gunther or something like that. Eventually they'll beat him 1, 2, 3, and then they'll like I think it should be Braun Breaker because it's like 1, 2, 3. Okay, here's the push for the world title. So that's what.
I definitely, yeah, I can see that. And Braun is a beast anyway. I mean, he makes
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar look like a little pissat when uh of course Braun Breaker is also second generation, so I have a little, heartfelt, for the second gens, but um and the third gens too. I always have had that little, something extra. I was telling you during the Cody match, I'm like, I miss Dusty. I really miss Dusty. Because
Alright,
like when we were 3 years old, he was like with the polka dots, and it was Dusty. It was that happy-go-lucky guy, Dusty Rhodes.
so Dust. Yeah. So Brock defeated Cena. After the match, he gave the referee an F5, threw like just grabbed him, threw like a piece of shit, piece of garbage, and beat up Cena some more, and then he walked away. And Cena just looked like completely defeated. They might do an angle where he might come out on Raw tomorrow night and say he retires early because he can't keep up with the guys anymore, and then somebody who knows who comes out to challenge him to one more match, and Cena will agree to a match probably at Survivor Series in November because he only has like I think 4 or 5 appearances left on his contract. So
Yeah. And honestly, this is like no offense, but it was I kept telling you it was gross, it was disgusting. I can't believe I actually retweeted. There was a sign that says he shouldn't be here, and we all know why. He was talking about Brock Lesnar
mhm,
being
yeah,
the alleged sex pest. It was just disgusting. I hated the first match. I was like, oh, it literally has to go up from here. It kind of did, but then there was some, mushiness in the middle, and I was kind of like,
Brock.
ugh,
I thought that match would go on last, but after I saw it, I'm like, there's no way it could have gone on last because it would have
no.
just been horrible. because it's like even though the match accomplished what it was supposed to accomplish, which put over Brock as a monster, but it's not really
But
a
the
match. It
monster
was
gimmick's
just a
over. I mean,
destruction.
that was when he first came in. Oh, he was a monster. No one can beat him. Okay, the fantasy's over. Brock Lesnar is a pussy. I mean, he really is. He couldn't make it in NFL football. He literally got hurt the first day he tried to go out for the Vikings. So, I mean, and how many UFC fights has he won? Like one?
No, he was a world champion in UFC. He was pretty
Okay,
dominant, to
well,
be
he
fair.
won
So,
a couple. But I mean, honestly, outside of
but
wrestling, he couldn't be that dominant. So I don't get why they're still making him like this beast character when he literally is a pussy in real life.
yeah, he was pretty. CM Punk also fought in the UFC. It didn't go well for him, but Brock was a world champion in UFC, so it did go better for him. Um, so yeah, it was what it was. They put over Brock as a monster. The next, he'll probably beat up everybody until because eventually, I think because if you saw SmackDown on Friday, Brock went to Paul Heyman and said we need to talk, which led to Paul Heyman. I forgot to mention introducing Brock, like
Yeah,
did
I
back
saw
in the
that too.
day.
I was just like, get out of the
And
ring, Paul Heyman.
yeah, so eventually it's going to lead to some sort of angle, my guess, where Braun Breaker's jealous of Brock because he's coming around Paul Heyman, and that'll lead to a babyface turn probably for Braun, and then lead to that match, most likely at WrestleMania next year.
Yeah, because right
Uh,
now he seems to idolize Paul Heyman. I mean,
yeah,
it's like, Paul Heyman,
it's,
Bronson Reed, and then Braun Breaker. And it
mhm,
just seems like, they're just so they're closer than I would say Rollins is to the rest of the group. Rollins is kind of
yeah,
off doing his own thing,
yeah. I
with
don't.
his
That's
wife.
weird. Yeah, that's
Go ahead.
weird. I mean, they're off doing. Seth Rollins is off doing his own thing. He's supposed to be the leader of the division. He's
Uh,
just nowhere near Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed at this point. So I don't understand what that is. Are they still together? Are they not together? Because Paul Heyman's been hanging around Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker for the most part. He's not even with Seth Rollins
right.
right now. So I don't know
Well,
what's going on there.
well, and I think, as you put it so eloquently, that this is going to sow some seeds between, where does Paul Heyman's loyalty lie? Is it Seth Rollins? Is it Braun Breaker? Is it Bronson Reed?
Brock Lesnar.
Since yeah, Seth
hmm
Rollins is kind of like off doing his own thing with his, and again, it's going to be title versus title here. And I said to you, Crown Jewel is usually in Saudi. Well, now that it's in Australia. So
Yeah,
that's kind of funny.
for whatever reason, they moved the show from Riyadh to Perth, Australia.
And here's the
So
the thing is, Cody won last year. Is he
yeah,
going
he
to win
won.
this year? They may flip it where, Stephanie Valkyr will win to Tiffany Stratton, and then Cody will lose to Seth Rollins and make Raw the bigger belt. It's all like what they want to do. I guess I don't know if it's not that they want to make Cody look weak or anything. I think it's just since last year they made the
Mm,
SmackDown the better
Yeah,
belt.
Cody won last year. He won that that crown jewel belt in that ring. Could Cody do it 2 years in a row? Probably, especially if CM Punk screws Seth Rollins to continue their angle.
That
So,
could, yeah.
probably that's why I think Cody would win again, even though he protects Seth Rollins from having Punk screw him. But oh, by the way, that Crown Jewel Perth show starts at 8 a.m. on Saturday, October 11th. So it's an 8,
Oh
8
my
a.m. start time
god. I'll
on a
just be getting I
Saturday.
won't even be up. I have to go to work.
Yeah,
Dang
so you're not
it.
gonna be able to watch it probably live, at least. So
No.
I would like to review it Saturday night, but I don't think we could because you're not going to be able to watch it anyway. So,
I mean, I could
um,
go back and watch highlights, but that's about it. Because I mean, I have to be
yeah,
at
that's
work.
yeah, yeah. All right, so that was that match. It was what it was. The next match had the Vision, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, the Bronze,
Happy
with
birthday,
Paul
Macy.
Heyman. Oh, happy birthday! Yeah, defeating the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, by pinfall. Oh, L.A. Knight was named a special guest referee during the pre-show. So,
Oh, but I like LA Knight. He's growing on me. But I didn't like this match, only because they brought tables into it, and I kept telling
but
you, I'm like, why do they have to bring fucking Slim Jim tables every fucking time?
because of the sponsorship, they
Of
signed with
course,
Slim
the
Jim.
sponsorships. Yeah.
So yeah, so at least it only happened once. They didn't bring out those tables for every match, so it only happened once. initially it's supposed to be a normal tag match, but LA Knight looked at it as
Oh,
like,
your birthday is
do
October
whatever you
11th.
want.
Okay.
Oh, the day of the pay per view. All
Of
right,
course.
so yeah, 8 a.m. It's an 8 a.m. start time, so I don't know. I'll probably be doing laundry that time, so I don't know where I'll be able to watch it either, unless we do laundry Friday, but we'll see. All right, division. Yeah, okay, I already said it. This match was fine. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't amazing either. Um, the only thing stuck out was that finish where fucking Jey Uso hit Braun Breaker with the chair, but it ended up coming right back, hit him in the head, and
Mhm.
immediately you saw like blood just gushing out. I was like, "Uh oh, Jay cut himself hard way, by accident."
Yeah, there was no blade in there, was there?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like I said, I really didn't like this match. I did because of Braun Breaker. Of course, he's a beast.
yeah. He
They
was,
made him like one, you know.
yeah,
He's doing aerial moves and he's spearing people off of the aerial. You know, when they do aerial
yeah,
moves,
yeah,
he's spearing them. It kind of reminds me, no offense to Braun Breaker, but it reminds me of like Goldberg, like how they were trying to hype up Goldberg and he was
yeah.
just spearing everybody left and right. And then, you know, when the shit hit the fan, Goldberg couldn't wrestle. Well, I know Braun can.
Hmm.
He's second generation. He knows the business, whereas Goldberg didn't give a fuck. Um, I still think that they're building up Braun Breaker, but I think they're doing it too fast. Like they need to, or maybe they're doing it too slow. Maybe they need to, you know, go a little faster with it. But
I
you
think
know, shit or get off the pot at this point.
yeah, I think initially when they paired him with Seth Rollins, I thought it was a good idea. It's like Seth's, is a main eventer, he's a world champion, blah blah blah. I think now looking at it, it's like probably a mistake. I mean, because Seth's not even around. He's doing his own thing with Becky Lynch for some reason, so he's not even
Right.
with him anymore.
They're trying to
I
keep
don't know
Becky
what
Lynch
the
valid or, you know,
and
somehow they're giving her this push. And I'm like, for what? I mean, she literally, there's nothing more they can do with her except for take that belt off of her and give it back to either Bailey or Valkyria, Lyra.
yeah, so yeah, this was Jey Uso hit him, and Braun Breaker is such a muscle head, and he's so hard that when he hit him with the chair, it, like bounced back and hit Jay in the head. So Jay was obviously concussed. I mean, you could see he's kind of like he had that look in his face, like,
Hmm.
"Oh shit, I don't know what the hell's going on." LA Knight realized it. If you notice, he kind of stood in front of him to protect him, and then he went over to Braun Breakers. Like you can hear it too on the microphone. Like hit him with the spear, and he hit him with the spear and pinned him. But yeah, Jay was fucked. That match had to end.
So
Maybe
that
ended
makes me
earlier
think
than what
if
they
he
wanted.
right, and if that makes me think, were they supposed to win? Were the Usos supposed to win? But you know, LA Knight had to call an audible because Jay was
Hmm.
concussed, and that makes me think, you know, because it kind of ended like,
Ended
like
suddenly, yeah,
yeah, suddenly, and I was kind of like, well, I don't think that was supposed to be the finish, but LA Knight was trying to do what was right,
yeah.
you know,
Jay
by
was
Jay
fucked.
Uso.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Jay
was
was
fucked. I mean,
completely
he
fucked.
couldn't continue. And this
But
is not
LA Knight is
25.
growing on me, man. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
LA Knight, he I don't know what it is about him. He just I guess he reminds me so much of the, a combination of Stone Cold and the
yeah,
Macho Man. It's like two wrestlers in one because he has that, yeah,
uh-huh,
LA Knight, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and it's catchy too.
it is
He's over with
catchy.
the crowd, and he has been. Just that
He's very, very
WWE
over.
WWE won't pull a trigger on a world title run for him for whatever reason.
I think
So
that's awful.
yeah,
But I think LA
yeah,
Knight, he's really starting to grow on me, and I would like to see him in a match maybe with like, not Jey Uso, but maybe like Braun Breaker,
yeah. He's
Bronson
been.
Reed, maybe.
It seems like they're teasing him and Jey Uso in a feud because they've been going
Yeah,
back and forth on
because there was
Raw.
like a couple of, almost, where Jay almost hit
Hmm.
him with the chair, but he stopped,
Yeah.
and LA
So,
Knight just kind of look at him like, really? Did you really just try to hit me? And it was all because Braun Breaker got out of the way.
yeah, it was.
But I
Hmm.
like this match in theory, but because of how Jay ended up cussing himself, I just
uh,
think that they called an audible, and
what
it
was that
didn't end
UFC?
exactly how we thought it was gonna end.
what was that UFC stadium they're gonna put in front of the White House? No, they're just gonna have next summer, I think it is. UFC is gonna hold a fight card in front of on the front lawn of the White House.
Oh, are you serious? Yeah.
Yeah, Trump is, approved it, and so I guess so is Secret Service because they're gonna have a card in the front of the White House. The there'll be the octagon in front of the White House, and I guess the fighters will get changed in the White House itself. So be very
So here
interesting
you
to see how
go.
that looks.
Politics and
Yeah.
wrestling and UFC are coming together for more scripted television.
Yeah.
It's gross.
All right. So the next match in 20 minutes and 11 seconds, arguably you could say was one of the best match on the card. Stephanie
It was the
McCourt
best
defeating
night.
Io
Yeah, it was
Sky
the best match
for
of
the
the
women's
night.
world title.
And I don't like women wrestling because I don't like the fact that the women have to have their asses and tits hanging out. Now, I'm not saying that I want to do that in Saudi, but I wouldn't want to wear something a medium in between, where, I have to wear something over my breasts and my
Hmm.
ass so my ass isn't hanging out.
Yeah.
Just something in the middle. I don't want the suit that they wear to Saudi, but then I don't want my
Hmm.
ass and my tits hanging out. Okay. Sorry, not sorry. Um, but one of the best matches of the night was Stephanie Valkyria, whatever. And like I said, I don't watch women wrestling, but I literally was except for when she did that devil's whatever the hell it is, where she bounces the
Uh-huh.
person's face
Yeah.
into the mat. It kind of looks like
Yeah.
some kind of sexual position. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm turning my head, but I was
Hmm.
like, "Come on, Steph, come on." And finally, she wins the belt. She goes over to her father, which that was an incredible moment, especially for
Yeah.
her dad. Congratulations, Stephanie Valkyr. Very well, deserved. She's paid her dues, in NXT, and now she's finally come up in the world. I just don't like Io Sky. I didn't like any of her moves. I was telling you that Steph was trying to do arm bars, and here's Io Sky jumping off the ropes like she's some kind of fucking flying machine.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, she was. That's what she does. She's not really a grounded mat wrestler. She's more of a moving around, jumping around, and doing her spots. But she's not really that mat wrestler, which is why, it was awkward at times. It felt like where Stephanie was trying to do
Mhm.
wrestling moves, but she was just, she barely sold them and then went to do her spots. She but ultimately, the right person won. I was afraid Triple H put the belt back on Io Sky because he likes Io Sky so much because she's been champion with 3 times already in the last couple of years. So
Right,
the
and
right
Jim
person
Cornette
won.
said he would wanna see Stephanie win the belt because, Io's had it for, a couple times, so let's let
Yeah,
Stephanie
she's had
be.
she's had 2 long reigns too. It wasn't like they were
Yeah.
short. So yeah, so that was a great. I thought it was a great match. The right person won. Nice moment. And
I give it 3 stars because and I'll tell you why. Again, if it wasn't for Io Sky, I would have given it more stars, but, Stephanie just I mean, her sense of wrestling 'cause she was trying to do arm bars, she was trying to do, headlocks and stuff, and it's just Io Sky could not adapt. But Stephanie was adapting to her, and she started doing aerial moves, and I was kinda like,
yeah,
"Oh, I wouldn't do that," but I mean, it is what it is. It's modern wrestling. What do you
yeah,
expect?
yeah. Ultimately, the right person won. So it was good. All right. The next match was the longest match of the night, went nearly 30 minutes, and it probably shouldn't even gone half of that. CM Punk and AJ Lee defeated Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. So this match was way too long. It felt like, well,
Yeah,
especially
I
the
was just
heat
like,
on
"Is it
CM
over
Punk.
yet? Is someone going to,
They,
like, literally get pinned?"
yeah, I get the beginning of the match. I kind of get what they were going for. Don't tag AJ Lee. The heat on Punk, heat on Punk, heat on Punk. The heat. It went so long. It's like,
Well,
oh,
and I
when is?
told you they're gonna milk this.
I know,
Because
but it
again,
went
this
way
is
too
Seth
long.
Rollins trying to get back at Punk, and he's gonna screw him any way he could. And the right people won.
Hmm.
AJ Lee got a win after 10 years of not being in the ring. Though again,
She,
these women wrestlers just don't impress me. And
they don't.
AJ Lee didn't
AJ,
impress me, and neither did
no.
Becky Lynch.
It kind of reminded me why I was not a fan of her 10 years, 15 years when she was in her initial run
Yeah.
because she started doing and when she came in her punches were shitty. the kicks. Every Becky Lynch oversold for her, like kind of like when Shawn Michaels oversold for Hulk Hogan in 2006 when they had that
Right.
match.
Right.
That's what it felt. He was. I'm not sure if Becky was disrespecting her purposely or was let me get AJ Lee over as much as I can, so let me oversell. But it looked ridiculous, and
Well,
so
now that she's
like
back in the WWE, yeah, of course she's gonna oversell so that she can get AJ Lee over
yeah,
because that was her job.
yeah,
Her and
yeah.
Rollins were both trying to get him over.
Yes, I don't know what the intention was there, but she definitely oversold. And then what I really didn't like was towards the end where both Seth Rollins and CM Punk were selling for the girls like they were like a real threat to them. You see
Right.
that part? It's brutal.
Yeah.
Like,
It
oh,
was I was just like, "Come on, stop, guys. You guys are acting
they're
like
selling.
pussies," and
They're s- they're selling for the girls like they're a legitimate threat to both of them. Especially AJ
right.
Lee to Seth Rollins. Like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you even selling for her? Why did you agree to that spot? You're the world champion. Like, there's
Yeah, it
like
made
there's
him
other.
look like a pussy too, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I
like.
mean, like, there's something Michael Cole said just made me go, "I don't do that." And it was, AJ Lee would look at CM Punk and say, "I got this. I'll do it." And, I think, Wade Barrett was like, "Oh, she's gonna be the boss." And he goes, "After so much of marriage, you learn." I was like, "Shut up, Michael Cole. I don't act like that. I don't sit there and boss my man around. I don't do that
Yeah,
shit. I know I
it's
don't.
like
My man is my own man. He can dress
it,
himself. He can get himself ready for whatever. He doesn't need me." So
yeah,
I just didn't like that part either.
yeah. There was way too much selling from the guys to the girls. It's like, especially Seth Rollins to AJ Lee is like, come on, dude, you're the world champion. You shouldn't even agree to that spot. But Punk shouldn't have either. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, he knows better, and it's like he's agreeing to sell for Becky Lynch, even though he did a better job of it, I think, because eventually he's like, wait, why am I selling for this bitch? He would pop right back up and and basically intimidate her away. But it was
Right.
like, why? Why even agree to even start to sell for her? So yeah, I mean, I didn't really like this match. AJ Lee reminded me why I didn't like her either in her initial run because she started doing like these windmill punches, like and that part where she's doing this and Becky's selling for the fakest looking punches I ever seen.
Right.
So he started, and then AJ won with her submission finish where she wraps herself around her opponent, starts
Yeah,
just
that looks like,
cranking on the arm.
it looks like a weird, like, abdominal stretch, but it's not an abdominal stretch. It's just some kind of something someone made up just to make it look right, but it looks all
Yeah,
kinds of wrong. It looks like she's
yeah,
trying to, like, hump her side or something. I mean, I'm
and
trying to be honest here.
she wraps herself around her opponent and just cranks her arm, like this, and that's her finish pretty much. And Becky tapped out, and that was the match. So yeah, I'm assuming that AJ Lee is gonna go after Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental, and then she'll eventually win it, and then feud with some of the younger girls. Lyra Valkyria pops up in my head because
Yeah.
as long as Becky the
Maybe
champion, she
Bailey.
can't get it. Yeah, as
Maybe
long as
Bailey
Becky
will
the
come back as a
champion,
heel.
yeah. Well, she's kind of like that. She has multiple personalities now, so it's just weird. She's a hugger, and she also, not. She's also like kind of like a bad girl. So it's weird.
Yeah,
It's very
they're
weird.
trying to bring back, like, the Wyatt Six if they had, like, schizophrenia or something with
Yeah,
her, I
she
think,
has a couple of personalities like sticking out in her. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's that. The main event. It took only 17 minutes. Like this match was shorter than I thought it would be. Cody Rhodes defeating Drew McIntyre to retain the title.
And I didn't like it because Drew almost had to, like, stop himself a couple of times and remember who he's in the ring with. And honestly, would it be so bad if, they gave the belt to Drew for a little while? I mean, didn't isn't Cody still in that movie or still doing the movies?
I think he ended he finished filming his part in Street Fighter, but
Okay.
he was gone after he won the title at SummerSlam. He was gone until
Yeah, I
he came
mean,
back
shouldn't they have given
recently.
the belt to someone else? I mean, obviously he was gonna be back in a little time, but I mean,
Cody Cody wins the belt at SummerSlam, and then Drew McIntyre takes him out with that kick through the table, and he was gone.
right.
So
And
he
then
had
he
his
had another
baby,
baby. Yeah,
and then he
so
filmed Street Fighter right after that. So he was gone over a month, and he's the champion. So it's like he's the top champion, but he's just gone. So eventually they had this match. It was good, but it was just, there was this part of me is like, you got to get this belt on Drew, but there's no way Cody's gonna lose after in his first title defense of his new reign. So it's like
I just thought about
he
that
was
too. Yeah.
McIntyre's gonna lose this match no matter what, almost, because Cody's like your face of WWE. He's the top guy. I don't think he would agree to put over Drew McIntyre in his first title defense. He's gonna want to win that match. So, which I don't
Well,
blame him. I mean,
and it was a good match. I'll give him that. But I mean,
Mm.
it just kind of fell flat. It's kind of like what they did with Karrion Cross right before he left.
Yeah.
Just kind of felt flat with Sammy, and it didn't really make any sense. Again, I love Cody Rhodes. I really do. And I was saying to you, I miss Dusty. I really
hmm
miss Dusty when it comes to, and I see a
hmm
lot of Dusty in Cody. Yeah, I mean,
hmm
obviously they're father and son, but I mean, there's a lot of things that Cody does that remind me so much of Dusty, and I guess that's why I kind of was watching older wrestling after it, because I was kind of like, oh man, I really miss Dusty.
Yeah. What I was
Um,
thinking that what I'm looking at Cody. He had a year-long title run, which ended at WrestleMania. Now he's a
mhm.
champion again, and it's like, Cody is better chasing the belt than being the champion. Like
Just
he
like
because
Dusty, just
yeah.
like Dusty was.
Yeah, I think he's better chasing the belt, because especially if you have a strong heel as champion. Like, it worked between him and Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns
Mhm.
was a strong heel and was dominant. Cody was the underdog chasing him. WrestleMania 40, that was one of the greatest moments I ever seen. So,
Mhm.
and now he's dominating the WWE Championship, and it's like it's kind of falling flat. Even though he has good matches still, but it's like Dusty, kind of, he was champion for a couple of few months, and then Flair win it again. He would chase Flair for the next year, and then he would beat him. He was champion a few months, and Flair beat him again. That's kind of like what Dusty was doing when he was a booker, at least. So,
But they
so
could
he
at
kept.
least, and what I think they're trying to do is probably Cody will win at Crown Jewel, and then maybe Drew might get his say in it. But I mean, keep after it with Drew and stuff. I mean, because he can be that heel. Drew is a great heel, and
Mhm,
I just love how Drew actually does get heat, and I mean solid heat too. Because when he took Cody out, everybody was like, "Oh, screw you, Drew! You don't know what you're talking about."
mhm,
Cody was still this tremendous baby face and stuff. And, like you said, it's better if they chase, because, that's what Dusty did, and which is what made Dusty very popular. Like I said, I miss Dusty Rhodes. I love those vignettes they did in the late 80s with him, and, hey, ain't
mhm,
you?
mm,
I love those things, because we saw the funny side of Dusty, and we
yeah,
and we got to see this hero of him. And when he first came out, he came out like tie dye and everything. It wasn't even the
yeah,
the dots yet. Um, because I think they were still
yeah,
trying to figure out what to do with Dusty at that point. But and it was against him. It was he would go up against the big boss man eventually, when he went up against the honky tonk man the first time. And Honky got hit by his own guitar, and he thought he was Elvis Presley.
yeah,
That was cute. I actually like that feud. It was him and Honky Tonk. Because Wayne Ferris is just he is so good at being like a Elvis impersonator almost.
yeah,
Like if Elvis was like honky tonk kind of guy,
yeah,
Um, but yeah, like I really like that feud, and like I said, I miss those vignettes, especially the one where the lady looks like Linda McMahon, and she's just going like this, at the
yeah.
with the toilet when
Drew,
just Dusty takes out the toilet.
hmm Yeah. So Drew, I honestly think he should be the WWE champion at some point, but he hasn't been champion since the pandemic. He was kind of the top babyface then, but after that he dropped the belt and hasn't won the title since, pretty much. So he actually, I forgot, he won the world title WrestleMania 40, but Damian Priest cashed in on him and Punk
Cashed in
screwed
on him,
McIntyre. So he was champion like
and
5 minutes. He was
well, kind of like the punk thing, at SummerSlam, where Seth Rollins
yeah,
cashed
Punk
in on
won.
him. So they kind of did like the same thing with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, but they
Yeah.
did it with Punk and Rollins. Like I said, I think Drew can definitely get there. I think he can definitely be that top heel. He's a great heel. I think he gets a lot of heat, and he tells the truth. Unfortunately, it is kind of the truth that Cody kind of rode on the. If it wasn't for the fact that it's Cody Rhodes, like
Mhm.
Dusty Rhodes. I mean, I don't would Cody be as popular as he is today? I mean, like I said, I love Dusty.
So
Don't get me
tough
wrong.
to
And
say.
I love Cody. I love
Mm.
Cody Rhodes too. All I'm saying is, I mean, sometimes it works out as second generation, sometimes it doesn't. Look at Kurt and Joe.
Mhm.
It worked out for Brett. Brett was champ, but none of Brett's kids
Mhm.
went into, wrestling. But Naya, or not Naya,
Yeah.
Natalia was
Yeah.
Jim's daughter,
Mhm.
and it didn't really pan out for her either.
Well, she's had a long career, but I mean, it hasn't. Is it Hall of Fame worthy? I don't know. I mean, they might induct her just as a thank you for her 15 plus years of service to the
Well, and that's the other
but
thing we got to bring up
mm,
is they inducted Stephanie McMahon.
I forgot to mention that. Yeah. So before the main event, Undertaker came out with his bike, and I
And I
kind
looked
of
at you
looked
and I
at
said,
him
I
like,
hated that damn gimmick. I hated the badass gimmick. It comes down there because none of those fucking motorcycles would work. He would always
so
like give up on them and just get pissed and leave them.
he came out, he rode. Stephanie McMahon was there for some reason. Like, why is she there? So now we figured after a few minutes, Taker cut a promo, and if it
We've known
isn't
each other
me or
for a
his,
long time, haven't we? She
yeah,
goes, many, 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 many years. I went, wow. And this is
yeah,
not her
Taker,
husband.
yeah, Taker met her before Hunter even met her because Taker was there in '90 and Stephanie
Yep.
was a teenager. This is
Teenager, at
around the
least.
time, yeah, yeah. So Undertaker knew her since she was a teenager,
Hmm.
and so this is even a few years before the alleged Stephanie Macho Man affair. And I say alleged because there's no evidence for it. And Stephanie isn't talking. Even Macho Man's dead. Stephanie isn't talking. Neither
But
is Vince.
Lanny didn't say
So
yay or nay on it. When they asked
yeah,
Lanny Poffo
hmm
about it, he didn't really elaborate on the affair.
hmm
Good for
ultimately it's
Randy.
one of those.
He finally got someone after, Elizabeth. I'm just saying.
Yeah, allegedly, yeah, because
Allegedly.
the story goes that I said '94, right before Savage left. Vince found out about the affair. Stephanie's 17 at this point, and Macho Man's in his 40s at this point. So Vince
Age
found
is
out
just a number,
about it.
baby.
Yeah,
Age is
Vince
just
found
a number.
Vince found out about it and basically said it basically let him go at that point. Either you go or the police are gonna get involved. So he left, obviously. And Vince gave him that send off on Raw. It's like, thank you, Macho Man, for your everything you've done for me in the WWF and blah blah blah. He gave him a nice send off on Raw, but
Well, and a
it
lot
was
of people say it's because the real reason is that could have been part of it, but the real reason was because Macho wouldn't give Vince any of that Slim Jim money. So he was not going to
mhm.
let Vince have any part of that Slim Jim stuff. He
That's
actually
probably
took
part
it
of it
with him
too. Yeah,
to WCW, and
WCW.
that's why Slim Jim
Yeah.
started doing WCW.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'd be
So
Slim Jim's Halloween Havoc.
yeah. So my
So
Eric
he took
Bischoff
it with
said
him,
that.
and literally, Vince got none of that.
Yeah, Eric Bischoff was like, "Look, I mean, the first year or two, we didn't even pay Savage. Slim Jim paid him. That's
Hmm.
how much money he's making with Slim Jim. He wasn't so WCW got him for free, basically.
Basically.
So another issue was Savage wanted to keep wrestling, and Vince didn't want to let him wrestle by '94. He was on commentary exclusively by
Yep.
'94. So it's probably a combination of the three of the affair with Stephanie was true. So
Allegedly.
that's what, yeah. So yes, Undertaker knew her since they were a teenager. And did you notice Undertaker's eyes? They were like super red, like he just had a few shots of bourbon before going out there. I'm sure you've
That
seen
would
his
not
eyes.
surprise me at all.
Yes,
No, I
Taker, like
wasn't really looking
especially,
at his eyes. I just kept going, rolling my eyes, going, okay, can we get over with this? Oh, good. She's going into the Hall of Fame. Nobody cares.
yeah. So basically, the Undertaker announced that you're the first member of the class of 2026 in the Hall of Fame. And usually they don't start announcing that until after Royal Rumble. Like this is like 6 months before WrestleMania. They're announcing Hall of Fame inductees already.
But how
So that's
ironic
weird.
that it was the Undertaker that did it and not Triple H. Not even
Yeah,
Shawn Michaels.
I don't know why Triple H didn't do it. I mean, he was backstage the whole time. I don't know why he didn't come out to announce
Put
that
over his
Stephanie.
wife,
Yeah. Instead, they used the Undertaker for that. And so
I mean, whatever.
interesting.
They're
Yeah.
probably great friends. And that's fine. I
hmm
don't mind that the Undertaker is great friends with Stephanie McMahon. But the something that Michael Cole said, "Oh, well, Stephanie made this business what it is." I went, "Huh?
No, it isn't.
No, I think
Here's the
Bret
thing.
Hart and Kurt Hennig did that."
I'm glad you brought that up because WWE is retconning Stephanie McMahon's history because they were talking about how she was women's champion for like 6 months, like 200 days, and I remember that reign. She never defended that title ever in 200 days as champion. She defended it probably 3 times, and every time she won was because interference of the entire corporation.
Yeah.
So she never really defended that belt. And when she did, it was like she won because of interference by the corporation. She did very little in those matches because she couldn't wrestle. So it's like
That's right.
it was
Yeah.
more like the DX were beating up the girls, and eventually did it enough where she would just take the pin and win the match. But it wasn't. They're retconning her history, and on top of that, her run as head of creative was awful,
Mhm.
just plain awful. Like, she would give guys the shittiest gimmicks ever, and honestly, she was the head of creative. Vince was still ultimately on top, but he would rubber stamp whatever Stephanie wanted to do because his daughter,
Right.
so he didn't want to tell her no. But I think he knew a lot of the shit she was doing was terrible. And Triple H dominated Raw. That reign of terror was when Stephanie was booking, so
Of course.
he had that 3-year dominant run on Raw where he was either the champion or challenging for the belt. So that was just brutal to watch too. So
Ugh, the
yeah,
whole thing was freaking brutal.
they
And I'm sitting there
retconned their whole
going,
history.
"Really?" So Stephanie made it everything that it is. What about Vince? But is Vince in the Hall of Fame? Is he in his own Hall of
No,
Fame?
no,
Okay,
Vince
that's
was
what I thought.
never
I was like, "Wait,
formally
Vince
inducted.
isn't even in the Hall of Fame. And now you're going to put
Yeah,
Stephanie in there? You might as well put Linda and Shane in there because they did just as much for the company as she
Linda
did."
Linda was CEO at WWF or WWE for years, while Vince basically was the chairman, but he ultimately ran creative, and Linda ran the business side of WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Until recently, when Linda left to get into Republican politics, and Vince was the CEO again. But yeah, I mean, Linda, Shane, Vince, they all deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. With Stephanie's about to go in next year. So, oh, did you see the opening? They came up with a new opener where Vince is in there. They actually
No,
stuck
I didn't see
in
it.
the
Well, I
opening.
was in the shower when
Oh
that
yeah,
opener
so
happened, but
where
I
you
thought it was
see,
the Wyatt Six were coming out. I thought, "What the hell are the Wyatt Six doing on?" And it was that ESPN. Oh, well,
yeah, the
WWE was
ESPN.
on ESPN. Well, so was AWA, and AWA was better.
Yeah, they retconned their history there too because they didn't mention the fact that AWA was on ESPN for years. So they're retconning that. They're just ignoring the AWA run because it's like, oh, this is the first time we're getting into wrestling or whatever. It's like, not really. I mean, they
Yeah,
had
not really.
AWA for
People did
years.
it before you, and you're just
Yeah.
literally whitewashing it.
And they also retconned AJ Lee's history because they were talking about how she was like the front runner of the women's revolution. And I was like, not really. She's first of all, she was terrible in the ring, and second of all, she left before Charlotte and Becky and Bailey came up. She was gone for like 2 years. So no, they retconned her history too, and trying to make it seem like she was the main reason why a lot of these good wrestlers are up today in the females. I was like, that's not true. She was gone. She
Wow.
had a really bad she had a neck injury, and she had, like, mental health issues too, so she had to leave, and she was gone for 10 years, so it wasn't
But I mean,
like she
she
was.
is so over now with the crowd. They literally were chanting therapy, therapy. I'm like, that's not something you
Yeah,
chant, you idiots. Stop chanting that shit. What the hell's the matter with you
yeah,
people? Hey, CBC.
eh,
Are
yeah, it's not good.
we going to
So
even
they're
talk about
retconning.
All In or All Out or whatever the fucking hell it was?
I
Do you
mean,
want to talk about that?
we
I
could,
mean,
I
we don't
mean
have to if you don't want to.
mhm. Yeah,
I mean, it was shit. It probably had shitty ratings too. I didn't see any
but
ratings for AEW, but
the issue is there's multiple issues. One, Samoa Joe was in the pre-show again. Like, it's one of your top guys, and you stick him in the pre-show. Two, the Darby Allin and John Moxley coffin match. I'm about to call it a casket match, but it really is a coffin match because WWE
yeah.
has the trademark to casket match. So that was the part that really like annoyed me was at the end of the match or after the match, they were backstage and they're still fighting, and Darby Allin blatantly put John Moxley in like this like fire protective that wrap, whatever it is, and set fire to him. Like blatantly in front of the camera, put him in that. It's like, oh, okay, you're gonna set him on fire? Yeah, there he is. And it was like 2 seconds before the one of the producers was there with like a fire extinguisher. So it didn't really
Mhm.
hurt Moxley at all. So
Of
what was
course.
the point of that? I mean, there was no
I don't
point
know.
to
I
that.
just saw like headlines on it. Oh, this person is still this person. Hangnail Adam Page is still fucking, still champion. I
Champion.
really didn't give a fuck. I was like, whatever. Who cares? His ratings are shit. He is shit.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even the main event, I don't think.
No, he went on last. But the issue was they
Oh, did he go on
AW fucked
last?
yeah, AW fucked up their timing. So unfortunately, by the time Adam Page got in the ring, Brock Lesnar and John Cena were in the ring, and the focus was on that, not on the main event. So they fucked up their timing because if they would have timed this properly, Hangman would have been in the ring at 6 o'clock instead of 7. So you had social media algorithm focusing on that. Instead, everybody ignored that main event because they were too busy seeing what Brock and Cena would do. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see. Usually, I see like I see that I see a AEW show trending. It trended in the afternoon, like when it started at 3 o'clock. But after by the time 7 o'clock rolled around, it was pretty much gone from the trending list on X. So yeah, they fucked up their timing, of course. So the only other memorable thing is like Edge and Christian got back together and they defeated FDR. Okay. Um Eddie Kingston came back. He defeated Big
Yeah.
Bill randomly for no
Well,
reason.
that was pretty much we knew that was going to happen because like they said that on Jim Cornette's show that Eddie Kingston was rumored to come back and they're going to have all kinds of issues and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so and
Eddie Kingston should have been a surprise probably later in the show. He shouldn't have had a match because, it says you got to put him with a random guy instead of because he has no feud because he's been out over a year. So it would have made sense to bring him back as a surprise somewhere in the card. I don't know when. Probably should have been in the main event, but but they didn't do that. Instead, they randomly booked him in a match with Big Bill, and of course he won. But Mark Briscoe defeated MJF in a tables and tax match. So whatever. The Demand, Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona defeated the Hurt Syndicate by pinfall. Wow. So the Hurt Syndicate now doing jobs to Ricochet.
of course.
Mercedes defeated Riho by pinfall to retain her belt, of course.
I mean, we knew
Kabushi,
that was going to happen because I mean, no offense to Riho, but well, no one likes Riho, first of all. Second of all, Monet is like Hogan. She won't do a job for nobody.
no, she definitely won't. She won't even. The only person that beat her was Tony Storm so far
Right.
in her this run. It's
That's why she has
like
like what 9 belts or something.
yeah, and her entrance I saw, it was there with all her belts on while she came out with the TBS title. I was like, that's so cringe. And she
That
always
doesn't work for me, brother.
so
See, there you go. We also
yeah,
had Pat McAfee do a couple of matches and then he was gone.
yeah, he left after he was there for the beginning of the show, and then for whatever reason he's gone. So I don't
Yep.
know what happened there. All right, so we got a new women's champion. Chris Statlander defeated Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter and Tekla by pinfall. Randomly, Tony Storm drops the belt, even though she's dominated the women's world title scene for like a couple of years now. So she drops it to Statlander. Nobody, I mean, why? Why not build that up more and eventually have her win it later in the year instead of just her first women's title match she wins? All right. Another match, Brody King and Bandito, the tag team champions, defeated the Young Bucks, Jet Speed, and the Don Callis family. So this is the match where Jungle Boy came back and apparently he got back together with the dinosaur, Luchasaurus, whatever his name is. Now they're a tag team again, and everybody started celebrating that. I seen people cry over that. I mean, on the internet is like, really? Jungle
Ew.
Jackoff and Luchasaurus were terrible as a tag team. Like, and now they're back together.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a
Like we
big
couldn't wait
moment to
till they
you.
like left, and now all of a sudden they're
Mm,
like they're
mm,
back.
Yeah, it's
Same with
like
what's his
Jungle
nuts,
Jackoff.
the guy that just came back, Eddie Kingston. Is really anyone that happy that Eddie Kingston is fucking back? I don't
He
even know who the
looks
dude
more
is.
like he looks more and more like an out of shape mechanic from New Jersey. Like,
Yeah,
what the hell you doing? Like,
honestly, I thought he was someone else. I thought he was the other Kingston, Kofi Kingston. I thought that's who that was. I was like, wait, he's under contract with WWE. What the hell are you talking about?
yeah, that's not good. It was like, really? I mean, I thought he would get into some sort of decent shape. I'm not saying he'll ever be Brock Lesnar, but get in decent shape. Like Kevin Owens isn't. He's not a he's not like he doesn't have a bunch of muscles, but he's in decent shape for a guy that's his size. I thought he'd be like Kevin Owens, but nope. He's as fat and slow as he's ever been. Oh, by the way, see the finish of the Eddie Kingston match? It went viral. He missed
No.
his finish is like this, what do you call it? A spinning punch, what they do in the UFC. But he missed, embarrassingly so, and then he fell on top of his opponent for the 1-2-3 and won anyways. He missed. He hit air, and somehow he defeated his opponent, Big Bill. Right?
Yeah.
So Big Bill was not even hit. So obviously he took a dive and got pinned. I'm like, no, just do a few more moves and do it again. Don't. It's like wrestlers these days don't know how to call audibles because it's like, okay, I fucking missed. All
Well,
right, let's do
not
a
in
few moves and
AEW. Let's just admit that AEW is a joke wrestling that that people want to call wrestling. It's just entertainment. And it's not even that entertaining, to be honest. That's why I don't watch it. I don't want to watch garbage wrestling like that.
Mhm.
And
Just
I'm not
call an
trying to be
audible.
mean either, just call an audible and be done with it.
It's like, yeah, I missed, dude. Okay, you hit me with a few moves. I'll make the comeback. I'll hit you with my finish for real this time, and then I'll pin you. If it takes 2 more minutes, it takes 2 more minutes. Tony Khan isn't going to say anything because he's a pussy. So it's not like it's Vince McMahon or fucking Triple H, who actually are the boss. So it's like, hey, I missed. I mean, can I get 2 more minutes? Like, okay, let's do some moves. I'll hit my finish again and pin you. So nope. I mean, they just went to the finish even though he missed. Eventually, the main event was Hangman Adam Page defeating Kyle Fletcher for the title. Went 38 minutes, which is ridiculous. The match first of all, should have been in the ring at 6 o'clock Eastern. Second
Yep.
of all, if it gets in the ring at 7, it can't go 38 minutes because you're running into to Wrestlepalooza and Brock Lesnar and John Cena, which was much more important than this match was. So it's like, all right. So a lot of these matches, either you cut matches from the card, or a lot of these matches needed to be shorter in order for the main
Yep.
event to get in the ring by 6 Eastern, because that's what it needed to be. It needed to get in the ring by 6 Eastern. So you cut a match or two, or the matches needed to be shorter. So because the problem is they don't time their shit out. Never do. It's like Tony production meetings, let alone timing out the show where to the second where okay, Hangman got to get in the ring by 6 o'clock because we know Brock Lesnar and John Cena are opening Wrestlepalooza, so
Right.
we got to be off the air by 6:30, 6:45. So we're not running up against Wrestlepalooza. So
Well, and
because
the
Tony
rumor
doesn't.
is that Adam Page said that they're not worried about WWE. Well, you better be. You better be
Mhm,
worried about WWE because WWE is making billions of dollars at your expense. And I hate to break
mhm.
this to you, but you will never have over 1 million followers ever again, or not followers. You will never have
Viewers.
over 1 million views ever again. You can't even break 600K.
And there's
That's how
a
far they've
real
dropped.
and there's a real rumor that Netflix is interested in Warner Brothers Discovery. They put in an offer to buy the whole company. And if they do, Netflix is in bed with WWE, so they're gonna definitely
Hmm.
cancel AEW on TNT or
Oh
TBS,
yeah,
wherever they're airing. And then when that happens, if that happens, AEW screwed. Like, where are they gonna go? Because WWE has deals with USA, they have deals with Netflix, they have deals with CW, they have deals with ESPN. I mean, they have their tentacles all over cable television right now. So the only other place I can think of them going is on Amazon. They have to go to Amazon Prime, and that's if Amazon wants to give them money for the show.
that's right.
So so that's a question mark whether Amazon will want to give them money or not. So
I
yes,
don't see a good future for AEW, and these guys they're saying, "Oh, we're not shitting our pants." They're shitting their pants.
they have to
You
be
can fucking
because
smell it from over here.
their jobs on the line. Because if they lose that TV deal, Tony has no justification to pay out all these multi-million-dollar salaries. So
That's right.
a lot of them either AW will continue as long Tony is interested in it. If he loses interest, they're gonna shut it down as quickly as as quickly as it started. So and then they'll all be out of a job. And
Yep.
WWE will not touch most of these wrestlers. They'll probably touch a few. They'll hire a few, but because Mercedes will go back to WWE. She wants to go back before she retires, so she'll definitely go back. I don't know how they touch Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe, it looks like a meth head.
I
Eddie
mean, yeah,
Kingston is
and he hasn't really
even
been
though
the same since, since
his brother has
Jay,
died.
yeah,
Yeah,
since Jay passed. I don't
Mark
know.
looks like
I
a meth
really don't
head.
see any of them going.
Mark Briscoe looks like a meth head. He can wrestle, but ultimately, I don't think they'll touch him because he looks like a meth head. But
Well, and they
actually, all those
definitely ain't
teeth
gonna
of his gone.
they definitely are not gonna touch Darby Allen either. That dude should just give it
No,
up and
no,
not even go into a wrestling ring ever again.
maybe they will if Darby Allin's willing to,
Not be a
step back
shithead.
from it. Yeah, step back from a lot of the death defying stunts that he does, and because he has a charisma and he has the face paint look that WWE would like to have, but ultimately, if he wants to do the same shit he did in AEW, they probably won't touch him.
Mhm.
Um, Eddie Kingston has no chance in WWE because he's just a fat, out of shape version of Kevin Owens. Because Kevin Owens has that he has that everyman look, that average guy look, but he's in much better shape and he's able to wrestle and able to go. Eddie Kingston, he looked winded after like 5 minutes of work.
Mhm.
Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian probably get like Legends deals, but I don't think that he would use them in a wrestling capacity anymore at this point. They'll probably get Legends deals and get paid to promote WWE, but I don't see them
But
in
I
the
mean,
ring
that's where it
anymore.
ends. Yeah, that's where it
Yeah.
ends. I don't see him
Hangman
going
Adam
any past
Page,
that. I mean,
none of
say
the
Levy.
elite.
I don't think,
Yeah.
I don't think WWE is going to touch Moxley either because again, Dean Ambrose sucked and never should have even been in the ring. That's just my opinion.
Well, they might because when he left, they sent him off. They were on good terms, so he might come back, but he can't do the shit he was doing either. So, and let's see. I don't think none of the elite will go to WWE. They won't touch the Young Bucks. They won't touch Omega or even Adam Page because Adam Page is like, I don't listen to the legends. I know what I'm doing. So WWE is built on respect and respecting the legends and shaking hands. And Adam Page is not going to do that. So chances are, he's not going to come back. Oh, I remember a story about the Bucks and how the Bucks went to WWE for a tryout, and William Regal and all the veterans there basically treated the Bucks like shit and then kicked them out the back door. Like they had a tryout match. Vince wasn't impressed. I mean, they were, and then Regal and I think it was Laurinaitis and a few of Vince's lieutenants basically just kicked them out the back door with their bags, and they never went back to WWE again. So
Hmm.
So
No,
yeah,
I did not hear that story, but I mean, they're not going to touch them. They're not. You can't even call them the Young Bucks anymore. They're not young anymore, really.
they're almost
So I
40, I
mean,
think, both of them.
yeah, I mean, you can't even. All right, it's 8 o'clock. I'm sorry, I gotta go for 2 minutes. I gotta go say goodnight to my son. I'll be back.
Yeah, go ahead. All right,
From the
so
Yankees.
yeah. Well, as of now, I'm planning to do a season review next Sunday, which will be the 28th, I think it is. So it'll probably start at 7. So got to reach out to David
Right.
and see whether he can make it. What?
I was just gonna say I assume Dave will join.
Yeah, it's the 28th. Yeah, so September 28th at 7. I assume
How
David will
about the
join if
Mets?
I. Oh wow, they're gonna miss the playoffs this year.
Well, we
So
don't know. I mean, they could, but we still got 1 week left. But right now, they're
yeah,
they're
they're out
not.
of it right now, and
Yeah.
what are they? 2 games out or something?
No,
So
the Reds just tied him for the record, but they have the tiebreakers, so they
okay,
would be
yeah.
the Reds
So
would be out. So
they would have to win. They would have to do quite what 7 games left in the year? Actually, no, it's more than that now. So it's like 10. But they need to start winning, or else they're gonna miss the playoffs. This is after to get Juan Soto in that $700 million contract,
and after
expecting
what he
him to
did
lead the
last
team.
year,
Yeah, but I predicted, and we did at the time when we did the when Juan Soto signed with the Mets. I'm like, he's not going to hit 40 home runs and drive in 100 runs and hit over 300. That's not the
well,
type of
he
hitter.
did hit 40 and 100, but he didn't hit 300. So to be fair,
Okay. Well, I mean, I thought because he's hitting in front of Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge, so they're gonna give Juan Soto more fastballs to hit, and which is why he hit the 39 home runs and 100 plus RBI with the Yankees that one year he was
I
here.
think he did
So
hit 41 home runs last year. So
yeah, he got over 40. Yeah, it's like that's why I'm like, yeah, he's not gonna put up those type of numbers again. He
mhm.
would have if he re-signed with the Yankees because he'd be batting in front of Judge still. So
Yeah.
that's what I thought at the time, but.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be the superstar, the leader, to
Yeah.
basically hit the Mets into the postseason, but he hasn't really done that. I mean, they might make the playoffs anyways, in spite of that, but he just hasn't been the same since he left the
And how
Yankees.
about the Tigers? All of a sudden, they could lose the playoff spot after having that huge lead central.
Yeah, I mean, the American League looks kind of weak again. So, I'm surprised how the American League looks weak because the best team looks like the Yankees again, but they have been so inconsistent this year that who knows? They might make another run at the championship, but
We'll see.
we'll see. So yeah, I'm about to get off of YouTube and then we'll go to oops, yeah, we go to clips. Yeah, so unfortunately, I mean the
So that
Giants
Brock
played it.
Lesnar John Cena match was such a classic, wasn't it?
Ugh,
Yeah.
it sucked. It really
Yeah, the
sucked.
comp
It
It
was
made
just like
Cena look like a
SummerSlam
pussy.
2014.
yeah, it was SummerSlam, it's basically that match,
At
but
least that match was understandable, but this one, I mean, what are you doing it? Why are you doing it again?
they're they're gonna build up Brock to be a monster and eventually get beat by one of the younger guys. That's my guess, but people hated the match and it's like,
I
yeah, I
still can't
get.
believe he was the one that ended the Undertaker's streak. It's just like that guy, really, that guy.
Mm. Well, the logic
Yeah, that
behind it
guy.
was
That guy who an alleged sex pest. So yeah.
behind that was eventually that was the year where Brock killed Cena and became champion. Yeah. But yeah, the story behind that was Undertaker was like, "Are you sure you want to end the streak?" Because Vince was adamant about ending the streak with Brock, and he didn't really fight it. I thought he would fight it more, but especially if like Vince was Undertaker could have fought that and probably whoops, that's the wrong count. Undertaker probably could have fought that and maybe got Vince to change his mind, but ultimately it wasn't much of a fight and Taker actually Taker got concussed like a minute into that match,
Yeah.
so I don't know how he finished that match, but he did. He he somehow finished that match and beat he got beat by Brock, but so yeah. All right, let's get out of this too. So everybody,
the last video we saw was the